Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger all min tid och jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Det kan nog leda baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig.
Yo. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how y'all guys doing?
Doing good, man. What's good over there? How's the weather? Did it heat up any bit?
No, not today. It's raining today. Raining today, man. Let me say this real quick in the intro right there. I just saw a picture of my good friend Tammy McCautry, who recently passed. So let's remember Mama Tammy.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Tammy. That's our big sister, man. Then also, you know, I heard what happened out there in Orangeburg at the campus with the murders. Of course, you know, condolences out to the families of the lost ones, but man, we got to do something better. We got to do something way better.
Yeah.
To everybody out there, I guess y'all, you probably see it on Facebook, whatever. There's supposed to be a walk around tomorrow. I think tomorrow at 11 o'clock, they're going to be gathering and walking around the outskirts of the campus. I think it starts over there on by Jameson Park, Jameson and Golf over there near your grandma's house. Foday. They're going to meet up right there, and they're going to march around the school to bring some awareness to what's going on the campus.
Yeah, much needed. Had a
going out there, y'all.
Yeah, had a
I plan on going out there tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I had a distant relative that sadly lost his life. So, you know,
on the campus.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Terrell? You related to Terrell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know he got a lot of friends out in our area, man. I see a lot of people talking about him. Oh man, I forgot what's his mama name? I forgot his mama name, but anyway, I know who you're talking about.
I didn't know the young fella personally, but you know, my grief is to his family. Gone too soon.
Yeah, young fella, 18 years old.
Man, it's a lot of that, man. It's a lot of it, man, going on. But we pray for our people, man. You know, the ancestors protect us, because it's obviously a wicked spirit out there out to get us, man. It's
absolutely
beyond insanity at this point, man.
Yeah. It's downright terrible, and it's kind of embarrassing because that should be seen as sacred ground because of the history and all the prominent people that have come through, and then also the students. They represent the future, you know. So I just
and if I'm not mistaken, this is the second one in like
6 months.
6 months, right?
6 months. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So just think about that for a moment, man. Here we are, you know, the same month as the Orangeburg massacre.
Yeah.
And this is going down in 2026.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't got no sense, you know. We got to do something better, man. And you know, I want to shout out the organizers out there who, you know, they hear it, they sounding the alarm, they're mobilizing. You know, we pray that the ancestors and the Most High is with y'all out there. You're able to reach the young people, because young people is the ones we trying to save. They got it bad. They got it real bad right now. Yeah, man.
I agree on
today's show. What is today's show about, Brother Don?
Today's show, we are highlighting 25 prominent, infamous, and sometimes lesser known Gullah Geechee figures in our history.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We can hear you, big cuz. Real good. He done froze up.
Oh,
wow. He gonna come back on.
Well, I guess you want to go down the list, Dominique, or you want to try and wait for him?
Dang, I really want to wait for him, man. But
Okay.
yeah, let's try. Okay, there you go. He coming back now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you back. Yeah, you back. Back like a heart attack, man.
Oh man. So Don, man, what's the purpose for this show today? What's the topic of the show today?
I highlight 25 famous and even less and sometimes lesser known Gullah Geechee figures in our history, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
How
about Kemoh? Why is that important?
Because
to do, Elder?
Because man, we supposed to remember the past and know who we are. You got to recognize like Dominique just said, the famous and not so famous, so we know who we are and know where we're going.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Definitely.
We talk a lot about genealogy and the amount of people that have this Gullah Geechee heritage just across America, across our history, across our celebrity space, our political leadership space, our highly educated space, our leadership space. So many people have this Gullah Geechee heritage that we all share so proudly. And I think I thought it was very, very important for us to highlight some of them, because we can go into hundreds if we really sit down.
Yeah,
to keep the peace and not let anyone alive feel left out, we said we're going to just do ancestors.
That's
25
right.
descendants who are Gullah Geechee people who have already passed away. So there ain't no argument about who we choose, at least not this time. We're going to come back with 25 alive. Y'all might be mad at that list because we're going to recognize the real folk down at the grassroots.
There you go.
You understand? And but at the same time, we want to honor those who some of you going to know. You're going to know some of these people, but you might not have known that they're Gullah Geechee descendants.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an educational show today, man. Y'all ready to get started?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right.
It's going to be a history lesson for all of us, too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I'm going to start with one that we least know about, but we all should know. And she recently passed away. Freedom fighter, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Assata
Shakur.
Joanne Chesimard. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got to start there. That's Wilmington, North Carolina right there, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Gullah Geechee rooted right there.
That's right. Shout out to North Carolina.
That's a bad sister right there. A true revolutionary down in Cuba for, I think, 45 years or so.
Yes,
but I was coming up back then. I sort of remember vaguely when it was on the news that she had a shootout on the turnpike, New Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bad sister right there.
Yeah, they wasn't playing, man.
And fled and went and ran to Cuba, man, and lived a good life, from what I understand.
Oh yeah.
Well, she lived a life where she didn't have to be living in captivity.
That's right.
The system, shout out to Mama Assata, definitely. We move forward, man. We move forward. Who we got here? Bam. Who is this?
Prince Rivers.
Oh man, who is Prince Rivers?
Prince Rivers, born
1824,
passed away in 1887. One of the African Americans who founded Aiken, South Carolina, which was once part of the Orangeburg district. He was a formerly enslaved man in Charleston, South Carolina, and served as a soldier in the Union Army and is also a state politician during the Reconstruction era. He joined Union lines as a sergeant of the 1st South Carolina Volunteers.
That's right. So it's a lot to unpack with this particular ancestor that we all, if we're Gullah Geechee, we should know this brother.
That's right.
Like you said, from Charleston, USCT, he was a freedom fighter, and also one of the 5 founders of Aiken County. Now, after emancipation, after the Civil War, they had to remap the South. So they had remapped out the counties, reorganized the thing politically, right, in terms of jurisdiction. So certain new counties was created out of former districts.
That's
in
right.
1868. I believe it was 1871 or 1872.
Around that
Aiken,
time.
right?
Yep.
So Aiken is the only county in South Carolina created by freedmen.
A freedmen-made county.
We created our own county out of Orangeburg District called Aiken.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And Prince Rivers was one of the pioneers. In fact, I believe his the booker who held him and his family enslaved, as soon as the Europeans hit Charleston, they ran inland. They had family inland. They had family in the Orangeburg District. And so they took, their quote unquote Negro properties, our ancestors, and ran with them from the coast inland.
That's right.
All the way to Oakland, all the way to Aiken. He ran away. He stole his master's horse and ran away to Beaufort and joined the Union Army. And then after the war, returned to found that county. So this is why we say these is Gullah Geechees that you got to know. You just got to tell your family about them. I'm telling you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. So let me move around a little bit. We hit Asada. We hit Prince Rivers. Then we hit the OG.
George.
OG.
Yeah,
George. Man, we hit the OG.
That's my man. That's my man Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy. Believe it or not, fellas, my father-in-law, Lisa's father, Sonny Red, knew Bumpy Johnson. So Bumpy Johnson was, I guess, I won't say they was homeboys, but they knew each other back in the day.
Yeah.
Number runners, that's what they were, number runners. And my father-in-law was a number runner like Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's powerful because, Bumpy Johnson is one of the most, I would say, famous and notoriously known black organized criminals, they would say, quote unquote.
Harlem Kingpin.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Worked under Madam
Sinclair.
Godfather. Yep. Went up to Harlem, worked under Madam Sinclair for a while, man. But he was known for having a generous spirit and giving back to his community.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I say that my father-in-law knew him. What I mean by that is he said that Bumpy Johnson and men like him, they would pass out turkeys and stuff during the holidays.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say it. Shout out to Bumpy Johnson, despite whatever he might have been involved in.
Yeah.
Shout out to allegedly what he was involved in.
He froze again. Oh
yeah, but he gonna come back. Okay, hold on, it's something else loading. Here you go. All right,
I'm back, right?
Yeah, you back.
All right, back. My bad, y'all. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties on this side.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But so let me choose somebody else too, man. So who we did last, y'all?
Bumpy Johnson.
All right, we did Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one of our queen mothers.
Susie King Taylor, born enslaved in 1848 in Savannah, Georgia, which of course is Gullah Geechee rooted territory. She secretly learned to read and write in a secret school. Enslaved people, contrary to popular belief, some enslaved people formed secret schools and were able to learn to read and write. She served in the Union Army as a nurse and a teacher for the 1st South Carolina Volunteers, published a memoir called Reminiscences of My Life in Camp, where she would speak about her experiences with the African Americans that were serving in the 1st Volunteers. And she founded a branch of the Women's Relief Corps for the Civil War veterans and continued advocating for African American women's rights. So she was also an advocate and an activist.
Powerful. Enough said. Savannah, Queen Mother.
There you go.
And these is the kind of woman that gave birth to these kind of men. You understand? You understand? Like this was their sisters. This was their wives, their aunties.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior queens, man. I'll tell you. So let me have a little fun with this.
We should be laughing, but there you go, Mr. Brown.
That's the Godfather, man.
The hardest working man in showbiz. Born, mother, mama from Colleton County.
I consider him to be from Orangeburg. He used to come to them clubs down here back in the 60s and early 70s. My Aunt Jean used to tell me stories about when she would see James Brown back in the day. Matter of fact, one time I was a teenager, my Aunt Jean took me to see James Brown on 125th Street at the Apollo Theater. Hardest working man in show business.
Yes,
got
sir.
a lot of hits. Yes, one of the most sampled artists in history. Over 7,000, between 7,000 and 9,000 times he's been sampled.
Man, listen, we just showed you the Godfather of Harlem and the Godfather of Soul. You understand? So we telling you where
right now.
Yeah, we trying to tell you where the culture come from. We're trying to give you some hints about African American culture. We trying to tell you what culture and what people migrated to Harlem and facilitated that Renaissance. We're trying to give you some hints.
Hey, you had to be there. You had to be there when I was coming up, man. You could hear James Brown everywhere. And right away, as soon as you heard James Brown, you know that somebody was getting ready to bust a move, do a break dance or something. That's just how it was, man.
All the early pioneers.
Any floor you lived on, in any apartment in New York, you was going to hear some James Brown. James Brown was the originator and the godfather. I mean,
all the early pioneers of hip hop, Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, and I got the sources to prove it. All of them cite him as an inspiration and influence.
Hey, I'm a witness. I'm a witness.
And you was a witness to it.
I was there. I saw him.
You was there.
Yeah, man.
I was hanging out during them days.
You know what was being played there.
Oh yeah.
So let's take it down home. Let's show Georgia some love. You know, show them Geechee Island some love, and held up one of their queen mothers as well.
Miss
Cornelia Bailey, direct descendant of Bilali Muhammad, and one of the pioneers of the modern preservation movement for Gullah Geechee people. She was actually one of the 12 elders who came to Sierra Leone on the Gullah homecoming in 1989. That was she was invited by the president Joseph Saidu Momo and came over here with Emery Campbell, you know, and the others to represent us here in this particular country, Sierra Leone. So Cornelia Bailey was an activist. She also was into environmentalism because Sapelo Island, Hog Hamad, hosts one of the last intact Gullah Geechee communities on the face of this earth. Their community has not changed much, and they keep it that way. And so you want to go somewhere where it's going to give you that 1800s feel, early 1900s feel of Gullah Geechee culture, Sapelo Island all day, Hog Hamad. And this is one of the queen mothers right here.
Her book, God, Dr. Buzzard and the Belittle Man, I might be mispronouncing it, man. That book, I read that book 5 years ago, and that's one of my many study guides. Like, her experiences, putting them in that book, man, helped my research so much, man. And the Africanisms that were retained.
Yeah, man, for sure. You know, shout out to her, and shout out to her cousin, Baba Harold Hillary as well. Our first chief for the Gullah Nation of North America. They were cousins. They knew each other very well, and they were trying to dig up the roots of Bilali Muhammad and determine whether he was a Fulani or a Mandinka. They had taken DNA tests that had no Fulani ancestry, but they had a close connection to Mandingos. And the white man said that Bilali was a Fulani, but their DNA is saying that they don't have any Fulani connection, that they were Mandingos. Okay. So I was helping them with that as well. This genealogy has touched a lot of families.
Big up to you.
Hey Dom, you know who one of his descendants is? A friend of ours.
Who is it?
The front porch genealogist, Terry.
Yeah. Terry Ward. Yeah, Sister Terry Ward.
Terry Ward, yeah.
There's actually a lot of his descendants. A lot of them because his 12 sons. Yeah, Bilali's 12 sons got sold. They lost track of them. They only know the one from the 7 daughters. But let me move forward, man. Give y'all a little something special.
Woo!
Who is that?
Minister Malcolm X, one of the greatest leaders known to mankind. Now, some people might be wondering how he got connections to us. According to his cousin, he had an enslaved ancestor named Moijueh that was brought to Charleston sometime in possibly 1815.
That's right.
That is absolutely.
That's right. And so of course, us as genealogists and us taking the approach of identifying Gullah Geechees by their ancestry, based on their descent, based on who you come from, your family, your bloodline. Just like Brother Dom said, man, Malcolm X's first documented ancestors, one of them was a man named Ajar. He is believed to be a prince and of Bambara ethnicity. If you don't know, Bambara is like the majority group in
the Bombaras were like royal.
The first known ancestor of the Little family, Ajar, was also suspected to be a Bambara and also a royal family lineage. Very, very important. They were first enslaved in South Carolina, then they was in North Carolina, and then by the time his father was born, they was in Georgia.
And it's possible that he was also.
But yeah. But boy, Kemoh.
Oh yeah. Well, we have a little family connection to Malcolm X. My wife's family is distantly related to Brother Malcolm. Malcolm was in Harlem area I grew up in. I spent much time at his mosque number 7 in Harlem. I've hung out with many brothers in the nation, man. So that was my thing coming up.
Then we have a cousin, Jeremiah Shabazz.
That's right.
Who was actually a captain of the FOI under him in Philly, became a minister. He actually ended up being the recruiter. He actually converted Muhammad Ali and was like his personal spiritual guide throughout his life, throughout his career. And so these guys built what we know as the Nation of Islam in its heyday. These guys was powerful organizers. They were faithful. They was moving in what they believed was good faith, serving our people. But most people won't identify Malcolm as a Gullah Geechee. Guess what we're going to do here in the Gullah Nation of North America? We're going to identify Malcolm as a Gullah Geechee descendant. You understand? Right. Also, his grandson was a good friend of mine as well. Good friend of mine. Today makes 13 years since I first stepped foot in this country. 13, February 15th, 2013. Yeah. And I was running around America, organizing with Malcolm's grandson before I got here. So I learned about Ajar from him. I didn't even know. You understand? So just putting that out. Let's move forward. So let me see. I bet y'all probably don't know about this one right here.
Oh man, that's my man Chancellor Williams. I first read his book. I first read his book back in the 70s when I was a teenager in high school. Man, he was one of the first authors that I ever read about. He's from Bennettsville, South Carolina.
That's right. Bennettsville was known for having Gullah Geechee people was sold up that way to Bennettsville. I helped a brother a year ago and trace his lineage back to Bennettsville, South Carolina.
There's a bookstore. There used to be a bookstore in Harlem called Liberation Bookstore, where I first read his book. And I used to hang out there. And that book right there was one of the very first books I ever read, along with the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley. Those were the type of books I was reading when I was a teenager coming up in the 70s, all during the 70s. I started out way back then.
Oh, because I'm paused again. Let me see. Within a minute or less, he probably be back.
Yeah.
But I thought we was gonna have technical difficulties on this side, depending on how much rain we got.
It's pouring now.
Yeah, it's pouring out this way too.
As I said, I ain't going nowhere. But who was we was just talking about? Chancellor Williams. Yeah. As a matter of fact, man, I think it was, if I remember correctly, I used to work at that time, I not work, but what they call like work study program in high school. And I had an African American teacher back then at DeWitt High School, and that lady put me on to Chancellor Williams. And then after that, I went down to Liberation Bookstore and found that book. I might have a copy of it somewhere around here, but man, I had that book probably 30, 40 years.
Well, you had gold right there, man. That point of entry. Shout out to she was a black teacher, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the black teachers, man.
Yeah, most of my teachers were. I was blessed, man, to have African American teachers who pointed me in the direction.
That's how Mr. Walter Curry was for me, man. He pointed me in the right direction, and I ran from there.
Oh yeah.
8th grade. Let me see. You see, Mansa might be trying to come back.
Yeah, maybe they got bad weather over there. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's raining over there, it might be pouring over there too, man. Let me see. Hold on, he messaging in the group.
Yeah, he typing stuff.
Okay, you heard what he said? The Wi-Fi killing me, but keep with the convo.
Yeah, okay. Well, who you want to talk about next?
We can talk about Mr. Esau Jenkins.
Let me see. What I got on Esau Jenkins here. Esau Jenkins. He was from Johns Island, South Carolina. Human rights leader, businessman. He had his own business, several businesses. I believe a vegetable business. He was a preacher, and I think he was started the bus line as well. He owned a
gas station, a grocery store, and he also had a hub for people to sleep while traveling. And he opened the Progressive Club, which was the first citizenship school in the county of Charleston, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he was born, I believe, 1910, and he lived until 1972.
That's right. Oh, there go Mansa right there.
Okay. I guess next.
Well, he said Jimmy in the group chat, so I guess we'll wait for him to come back in. We can talk about Jimmy Cato.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. You want to talk about Jimmy Cato?
Yes, sir. Jimmy Cato. Jimmy Cato was the organizer and leader of the Stono Rebellion. The Stono Rebellion was the most violent and the most successful rebellion of enslaved Africans during the colonial period of U.S. history. Before the United States, in 1739, he rose up. He organized a rebellion, and they waited till Sunday, and they hit the armory, and they started tearing white people up, man. They started attacking the farms, started liberating people. They said they pulled drums out, man. They was beating the drums,
and they had flags waving. Europe.
Yeah, man. They were saying liberty or death. They was marching, boy.
I think they were saying Lukongo, which means liberty. Because Jimmy was from the Kingdom of Congo, and he was a Portuguese speaker, and he was already converted to Catholicism before arriving to the U.S., mainland North America. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
And because of that, I believe he was aware of the decree made in Spanish Florida that if any enslaved Africans from the British colonies made it down to their territory, as long as they would convert to Catholicism and serve in the militia, they would be granted their asylum. And so he wasn't just rebelling for no reason. He was rebelling and trying to make his way to Florida as well. That's important to know about Jimmy.
That's right.
Because he was a military man, and some of the people that was rebelling with him were probably Congolese soldiers as well. So these guys already knew how to fight, and they were already strategists and everything. So like you said, they had a plan. They was trying to get down to Florida to hook up so they could do some damage.
Yeah, exactly. And you know the crazy thing about it is that when you think really about it, the later on during the Gullah Wars, there was a black colony established called Angola, down where Tampa and St. Petersburg and all that was the Angola colony. No one ever talked about black people establishing Angola in Florida. You know what I'm saying? But it happened. It really did happen. And then also, whenever you're talking about the Jemmy and Cato, we're talking about we identify that as Gullah Geechees as one of the first major battles in the Gullah Wars. We don't follow the European narrative of the Gullah Wars. The Gullah Wars was a long, sustaining, protracted guerrilla war that took place on every plantation and every free land, wherever we was at. We was rebelling. We was rebelling against the same social order. And so at times we had rebellions, and those rebellions we identify them as battles. So we look at the rebellion of Jemmy and those courageous Congolese and Angolan ancestors as not rebels, but as a battle. They was fighting war.
Revolutionaries.
That's right.
Revolutionaries, and also a few of them who were part of that organization, that organized revolutionary group, were known as cattle hunters.
That's right.
According to
go ahead. Let me see. So we talking about revolutionaries. You know, it's only right.
Miss
It's
Septima
only right.
Clark.
Yeah,
Born in Charleston, South Carolina, pioneer and educator and civil rights leader who believed deeply that knowledge was power. She developed the literacy and citizenship workshops that helped thousands of African Americans register to vote during the civil rights movement. Dr. King himself, Dr. Martin Luther King, said that she was the mother of the movement.
You hear that? Queen Mother.
I think she had something to do with the NAACP, and was born in Charleston. She lived from 1898 to 1987. If you drive through downtown Columbia, I think you'll see you might see her name is, I think it might be a school or something she's associated with in Columbia. I might be wrong, but I think I've seen that name. You know, when you're driving down off of Bull Street around that area.
Yeah, man. So you see how many powerful Queen Mothers we have in the culture. So when we call, you know, when we do get together and we remember our Gullah Geechee ancestors, now you have some names. Now you got some names. You got some definite names worthy of veneration, worthy of our collective remembrance, and our, you know, our emulation. So let me move forward with someone else. From the Queen Mother to the Pa himself,
Robert Smalls.
If you don't know this man, that's right, Robert Smalls.
The big man, American politician, put his hat on, snuck on the ship, and got his family away to freedom. The big man. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have public education schools in the state of South Carolina.
That's right. Right. Part of the Reconstruction Convention of 1868 that helped passing a law that equal rights on all children between the ages of 17 and 14 must attend public school at least 6 months a year.
I believe right now, recently, I think on the news that they're going to honor him again with a statue somewhere downtown Charleston. Have you heard that on the news recently, Dom?
I believe so, and he should be remembered.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. And then Robert Smalls, his greatest feat was self-liberating himself and his family. In the midst of the Civil War, he was able to steal a ship from the Confederates. He actually watched them. He learned the secret symbols to get passage through the Confederate lines, and he went in disguise and used the symbols all the way till he reached to the Union side and liberated himself and his family. And if I'm not mistaken, President Lincoln was so blown away by hearing that happened that he wanted to see Robert Smalls. And also, I think that was like one of the last nudges that made him say, "Yeah, we need to go ahead and put Africans in this war."
Yeah,
that's right. And I'm gonna give you another little fact too. During the Emancipation Day Festival in 1865, Robert Smalls came up on the, if I'm correct, on the planner with Martin Delaney and another person whose son, whose father's on this list, Robert Vesey.
That's right. Denmark Vesey. That's right.
Denmark Vesey's son, Robert. Like that's gangster.
And you know what's crazy? They pulled up to celebrate the freeing of Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Charleston had been held by the Confederates, and then when Sherman marched through Orangeburg, all the Confederates was confused. They didn't know where he was going to hit next. They didn't know if he was going to hit Augusta, if he was going to hit Columbia, or he was going to turn to hit Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, when he went and hit Columbia, the Confederates from Charleston had to abandon Charleston and go and fight and try to rescue Columbia. And because of that, the Union reclaimed Charleston. And during that time, they celebrated. And when they celebrated, I believe it was like the 13th or the 14th of April, because they were celebrating one night, and Lincoln got shot like that same night in D.C.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like the next day they woke up, Lincoln was dead. But that, you know,
and another
good addition.
Man, he bought, if I'm correct, he bought the plantation that him and his mother was enslaved on.
Yeah.
Powerful. And that tells you about Gullah Geechee land ownership. You know, that tells you about our attitude towards ownership. You know, that we definitely felt as though the land was ours, and that if we had to pay a little bit of money to get the documents to say it's ours forever, we was willing to go through that process. There was complaint. Even there was rumors that the Africans didn't want to leave the land. They said, "This is our land. The white man got to go. You got to leave the land. This is our land."
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of back and forth about that land now, and it still is
to this day.
But, let me see what we got here, y'all. This elder here.
Oh, Mr. Philip Simmons. I've been to his house down in excuse me, his home down in the Low Country down in Charleston. It's not that big. They got a little shop there where he used to do his work. You can see his work on various buildings and homes in Charleston. Well known man. He was known all over the world for his craftsmanship.
Absolutely. And that craft is very, very important. You know, a lot of people were brought from the Igbo kingdoms. They're brought from the kingdoms of the Akan. They were brought from these blacksmithing kingdoms, the Susu, people who had mastered ironwork in Africa, you know, for thousands of years. And this is also can be credited to skills and transferable knowledge that, you know, we brought with us from the continent that's still preserved within the Gullah Geechee culture. And you know, within people like the late Philip Simmons. And right now you have other people right now who are picking up the craft and keeping it going in a certain kind of way as well. So
shout out to my boy Clarence Jackson.
Yeah, man. Let me see who we got now. Big man himself, Joseph Rainey.
I think he was one of the.
What you got for Joseph Rainey, Don?
What I got for Joseph Rainey, born in Georgetown, South Carolina, which means he's Gullah Geechee. That's the roots of Gullah Geechee culture right there on the coast. He was the first African American to serve in the United States House of Representatives, and he was the second Black person to serve in the United States Congress.
Look at that.
Many don't know, many African Americans in South, well, not many, but a good majority of African American men became politicians during the Reconstruction era.
I think he got elected 4 times to Congress. You know, Joseph Rainey wore many hats. He was a barber, bartender, politician, but that was incredible for back in them days to you know, get elected 4 times. Whoa.
Yeah, imagine, man. And back then it probably was more democratic than what it is now. You know, it was the people's consensus. You know, if you think about it. You think about it, right? In 1861, when the Civil War first began, the full intentions of the Confederates was to keep us enslaved even till now.
That's right.
But within a few years, that had been overturned largely by our own participation in the war.
That's right.
And then when you look at the political legacy afterwards, that we're the ones who put universal education for all children on the ballot. You know what I mean? We're the ones who, you know, kicked in the door in South Carolina and start making things progressive and more inclusive for everybody. You know, when you think about it, it's not just like a victory for Black people, but it's actually evidence that even though we were enslaved, we had a sense of governance. Even though we were enslaved, we had a sense of political power and what we would do with it if we had it. Because when we got it, we showed you what we would do with it. Very, very powerful. Black Reconstruction.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So let me see. I think this is somebody we should know. Maybe
David
not by face, but we should know this brother here. Who is he?
David Walker.
Oh man, give it up.
David Walker.
David Walker. Didn't he have? I think he wrote a book, or he had a newspaper or something. The Colored Citizens of the World.
Yeah, the Appeal to Colored Citizens of the World. Yeah. Like that was a revolutionary.
Right?
He was a noted abolitionist. Abolitionist.
Not only that, let me give y'all the game, right? This brother here was born free in Wilmington, North Carolina. His father was enslaved, but his mother was free. So he was born free, because that was the law back in the day. Whatever your mother was is what you was going to be.
That's right.
Right? And so he also became a abolitionist. So he's an abolitionist born and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. And he actually moved to Charleston and was a part of the Denmark-Vesey plots.
That's right.
And he was able to escape the authorities. The only reason why he didn't get lynched with Gullah Jack and Denmark-Vesey. So he was a member of the AME Church, and he also, when he escaped, he went to the Northeast. He went all the way up into Boston, and from Boston he became a serious abolitionist, and he also
became a Mason.
He also wrote that pamphlet. You know what I'm saying? In his pamphlet called the David Walker Appeal, he appealed to Black people of the world, not just Black people enslaved, Black people all around the world, talking like Marcus Garvey 100 years before him, that we should rise up and we should overthrow white supremacy by violent force. We shouldn't wait. That God is on the side of the oppressed, but we have to take our action. And his pamphlet was so influential that they say maybe Nat Turner got his hands on a copy. Maybe Nat Turner caught that message down in Virginia, because what David Walker used to do was his pamphlet got banned. It was illegal. So they used to sew his pamphlet into the peacoats, the Navy peacoats. And the sailors used to move them up and down the coast to Baltimore, Philly, to the little port cities. And then they used to distribute them like that underground. Just to show you how well organized our ancestors were.
And clever.
Right? Very clever. So he used to sew the book into peacoats, so it can get distributed.
Very slick.
And eventually he died. It's believed that he was poisoned, and he was assassinated. But yeah, man, David Walker. If you don't know about it, go check out the David Walker Appeal. David Walker Appeal. Moving forward, y'all know who this is?
Miss Mary Bethune.
Miss Mary. That's right. Miss Mary Bethune-Cookman.
From Maysville. She was from Maysville, South Carolina. She walked with presidents. She knew everybody. The college is named after her.
That's right.
Bethune-Cookman. Is it Bethune-Cookman?
Yes, sir. She was good friends with Roosevelt as well.
Right. She was a civil rights activist, humanitarian, a philanthropist, and she fought for women's rights.
It's women like her, alongside us, that helped get African Americans in the door during World War II to have those service jobs, working in the military industry.
That's right. Queen mothers, man. We never run out of Gullah Geechee Queen mothers, I'm telling you. The women have led the way. They have been there every step of the way.
Every step.
Let me move on to this. This is a drawing, but it is depicting our man Gullah Jack Pritchard, right? And you know about Gullah Jack, maybe this photo isn't the right one to put up, because Gullah Jack was an African man.
That's
Gullah
right.
Jack was born in Angola. He was ultimately captured there and sold through Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up on the plantation of what's his man name?
I believe.
What was the name?
A man named Preacher.
Zephaniah.
Kinsley, right? Zephaniah Kinsley, right?
In Florida.
All right. So he ends up with he ends up a smuggled African, a stolen African, illegally transported African, right? A straight just like the people of the Amistad, right? But if you didn't get rescued, you was enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get rescued. He ended up with Zephaniah Kinsley, who actually, this white guy was down in Florida, and he married an African. He married an enslaved African woman who was I believe she was a Khan.
Wolof. I think she was Wolof.
Wolof. She was Wolof, yeah. Right? She was Wolof. And he married her, and it basically he was involved in the illegal smuggling and breaking of Africans. He would give them skills there. Mm-hmm. You know, it was almost like turn you into a slave plantation.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, people will come there, and eventually for Gullah Jack, from what I understand, the plantation was attacked by during the Seminole Wars, during the Gullah Wars,
mm-hmm.
and Gullah Jack took off.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up resurfacing in Charleston, enslaved to Mr. Pritchard.
Yeah, Pritchard.
And Mr. Pritchard, you know, ran a plantation, but Gullah Jack became known as a straight root worker, as a spiritualist, and a liberation fighter. He was a radical. He was rebellious.
Yeah.
So he was there along with our man Denmark Vesey, making sure that our people had the spiritual protection that they needed in order to rise up and fight. Now, see, some people don't know about Mother Emanuel Church down there in Charleston, is that church right there where that massacre happened just a few years ago is also the church where Denmark Vesey and Gullah Jack and them plotted the rebellion, where they was going to take Charleston by force, take over the ports, put Africans on ships, and take them directly to Haiti. That was the plan. Just so you understand what was going on in the minds of Africans 200 years ago in South Carolina. That's what we was on. That's the type of time we was on in Charleston. Like, man, we about to take this joint over, take all these shits, take auntie, grandma and them, right on over to Haiti. Think about it now. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah, thinking global, man, thinking international, thinking in a way that so many of our people today don't think. Think about
it.
Man, again, I've been down to Emmanuel Church, and if I remember correctly, I think outside the church there on the ground, they got bricks with the names of the people who were engraved out there. It's just like what we were just talking about earlier with Philip Simmons. If you're down in Charleston, you can get on the Gullah Geechee tour, and there's a man there that rides the bus. He will tell you, he will run it down, Charleston Low Country history. Very knowledgeable man. He runs the Gullah Geechee tours. You can get it down at the market down in Charleston. It'll take you all over the city.
I think Fordham does tours as well down that way.
Yeah. I've been on it several times, man. I've been on it. The brother is very knowledgeable.
Yeah, man. So let's keep it in Charleston, y'all.
All right.
But take it back to the music. I don't know if y'all know this brother here, but his name is James Jamerson or Jameson.
Yeah,
brother, he's a funk brother. Yeah.
Bass player.
That's right. He was one of the greatest bass players in the 60s and 70s era. Played bass for a lot of things. One of them is that what's the song?
If you listen to Motown music and you hear the bass,
I Got Sunshine.
Yeah,
I Got Sunshine.
That's the brother playing. That's the brother playing. Y'all know who his cousin is? His cousin is Sister Ufe.
Yeah, Jim. Okay.
That's her cousin.
Yeah. So James Jefferson was big, man. He was real big. Y'all can check him out. The name is spelled Jemerson.
Played on a lot of hits, especially for the Jackson 5.
Oh yeah, he got a lot of hits for the Jackson 5. He was a problem man. He was a Motown man.
He was the main bass player for Motown.
Yeah. Oh, look, what's going on? That what's going on with Marvin Gaye? Yeah, he played the bass on that. Charleston man, Gullah Geechee.
I think he was from Edisto Island, I believe.
Okay. Last but least, this is a drawing. It's supposed to be Denmark Vesey, but Denmark Vesey is the last photo we have. Denmark Vesey wasn't necessarily born enslaved in the United States, and also has a very miraculous story because he ended up becoming the type of enslaved African that was a little different than that comes down to us. We think of slavery, we think of agriculture, we think of plantations. We don't think that people were enslaved because they had masonry skills. That people were enslaved because they were sailors, because they could do marine work.
That's right.
And so Denmark Vesey was one of those who was similar to Prince Hall and Paul Kofi. They was part of that maritime labor force, whether they were free or enslaved, and he found himself enslaved in that process. And ultimately, get this, y'all, he was such a good worker that the guy who held him as a slave used to give him a little bit of money. He used to earn his own money, and he used to play the lotto, y'all. He played the lotto 200 years ago in Charleston, and he won. He hit the lottery 200 years ago in Charleston and won.
And bought his freedom.
He bought his freedom, but the master would not sell him his kids and his wife.
One of them being Robert, who I spoke about earlier.
That's right, and that's what made him plot to end the slavery and free our people and take some people back to Haiti. You know, I believe he had come up from the Caribbeans anyway. So
it's believed the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, he was already from down the Caribbean already. So you just gotta think about it.
And I think he was a Khan heritage as well. I believe that's what they said about him. Comburante or a Khan. You know, the Khan people are well known for their fighting spirit.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
That's right. And he's one of the founders of the AME Church, of course, Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston.
That's right. The same church we talking about. You know, after their rebellion, after their battle, like we say rebellion, but we're gonna say battle, right? Because all this is part of the Gullah Wars. You know, after this battle, they slaughtered a whole bunch of people. Of course, you know how they do.
Yeah,
they slaughtered a bunch of people. You know, David Walker, he was able to escape. He got out of there.
Some of them got sold to the Caribbean.
Yeah, and just like what they did after the Stono Rebellion about 100 years prior, they changed up their whole security code statewide. They changed how they was going to allow us to gather. Independent black congregations became banned at that time. This is when bus harbors or hush harbors became popular because black people couldn't have their own independent churches. You can go, you could have the religion, but you couldn't be up under no independent black structure. And so they became afraid of the African Methodist Episcopal Church because of the Denmark Vesey, Gullah Jack, David Walker plot. And it's the reason why many of our ancestors were members of bush harbors. By the time emancipation came, we was out in the woods. We had our own little makeshift.
The invisible institution.
That's right. We had to create our own institution in the bush. And after emancipation is when the AME Church and the Black Baptist Church and everything had a rebirth. And that's when most of our families went into the religion formally, was after emancipation. But yeah, man, the Africans who had the measure of freedom to not be a chattel, they were always building independent African black power for our people. And they were always leading the abolitionist cause. and ready and willing to pop off as soon as the war would happen, because you see what
right.
happened.
That's
Moses
right.
Dixon had organized thousands underground.
The Knights of Liberty.
They was ready to fight already.
That's right. That's right. And another
You
connection too that goes to Chancellor Williams in a way. The governor at that time was named Thomas Bennett. Bennettsville is named after Thomas Bennett, and of course, that's where Chancellor Williams was from.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I found that.
Yeah, I found that
That's a
connection
good
last
additive.
week, that brother.
That's a good additive. So that's all the ones that I have with the photos, but let's go through a few more that we have that we don't got photos. And I know we got a couple personal ones too that we gotta shout our own ancestors out, because of course we Gullah Geechees too. And y'all should know who we are. Y'all should be able to also respect where we come from.
That's right.
Let's start first with Dr. Layla Africa. Dr. Layla Africa, one of our natural healers. This man was very powerful. Some would put him in the category of a Dr. Sebi, and straight Gullah Geechee man. You know, his son is the husband for one of my cousins, one of my Jamison cousins. And so you know, they're like kinfolk to me. But this brother's contribution is largely in the area of holistic healing, and also dealing with metaphysics, dealing with the spiritual aspects of understanding medicine and how it applies to Gullah Geechee people. He also talked about our diet and used to analyze it from a psycho, social, and historical perspective. So he wasn't just healing us with herbs; he also was healing us from ignorance as well. One of our great scholars of this last century, Dr. Layla Africa, for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember his book very well. Once again, way back in the day during the 70s, I had his book as well when I used to call myself trying to be a vegetarian and oh yeah, Dominique, I've been around a minute, man. Matter of fact, I'm looking at his book right there. I have it on the shelf, Dr. Layla. Yeah, I used to follow his advice to try to keep my heart working right, and drink herbal teas and all kind of things like that. I was a vegetarian for about 3 years, but he was one of the guys I was following, Dr. Layla Ali.
I'm gonna write a book about you next, man. You done lived the interesting life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey, you got to live, brother.
That's right. You gotta live. You gotta live it.
When you reach my age, it's a blessing to brush gray in your hair.
Yeah,
you know, it's a blessing.
That's what I tell you. So let's go to we're gonna save our own for last. We're gonna save the best for last. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to, let me say, Mary Jackson. I think Baba Kemoh, you put her on the list.
Yeah,
Mary Jackson.
That's the lady known for. She's known for making the sweetgrass baskets down in Charleston. I think she's from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and I believe she's still living. She's about 80 years old or something now. She was born in 1945, but she's well known down in the Low Country for making the sweetgrass baskets that she learned from her mother and grandmother. They taught her as a child. I think she started making baskets when she was about 5 years old, and then after some time, she picked the art back up and took it, and it's spread out all across the country because of her. I think.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure some of her works are in the Smithsonian, I believe.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course that I am, yes.
Wow. Well, that's powerful. So she's still among us. She's still alive. She actually shouldn't have been on the list, but she deserves a shout out. And shout out to her ancestors for keeping it going and passing it down to her so we could have it today. Absolutely. Mary Jackson. Esau Jenkins. Esau Jenkins.
You don't have a photo of him?
I ain't got no photo here loaded up.
All right, Mr. Esau Jenkins, born, raised on Jones Island, South Carolina, them coastal islands. He was a civil rights leader, educator, community organizer, and also a local preacher who helped improve housing for people on the Sea Islands. You know how monumental that was to have somebody doing that for folks back then. Man, somebody who actually cared. And also, He owned a progressive club on Jones Island, which was a citizenship school that helped teach civics. And he also had a number of businesses such as a gas station, a grocery store, and also a hub for people to sleep in.
I said.
And a bus line. And a bus line. That brother,
Ah, got
he
that.
wore, yeah, he wore a lot of different hats. I mean, he had, good,
Powerful.
very enterprise brother, man. I think he lived from 1910 to 1972.
I say. I know I always hear that he was like Charleston's king.
Yeah.
He was a king down there, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, so we got one more, and then we're gonna go into the drum roll. We got 3 ancestors we gotta throw up in there. So the last person is the ancestor of one of our dear friends, Myra Davis Brennick. She writes about it in her book, Cornbread. And this person is no other than Rebel Rose Washington. I know, Kemoh, you had the opportunity to dive into that book, man. What you got to say about Rebel Rose?
Oh, yeah, Rebel Rose. Rebel Rose was something else. She worked in the big house amongst the white folks, and she was able to pick up from conversation secrets that was going on. So she had a network. She knew everybody in the area, her sons and other family members what was at different plantations down in Utahville. And she was trying to get them people to rise up, and take over down there in the low country from Pineville to
Pineville throughout Utahville, which was at the time Charleston district.
Yeah, she was like true word. She was a revolutionary, and she had her sons involved with it too. They had a whole network thing going on down there.
That's right.
Sister Myra wrote about her ancestor in her book, the Davis family, called Cornbread My Soul, the Davis family of Utahville, South Carolina. And a lot of people may not think of Utahville as being the low country, but them people speak Geechee down there. They talk that talk down in Utahville. That's to me. I spent some summers growing up going to visit my aunties and them in Utahville. And we spoke about hoodoo and things earlier. Well, that's where you go.
Holly Hill and Utahville.
Utahville.
Yep, that whole area used to be part of the Charleston district until Berkeley County was formed back in between like 1887, 1889. Then after that, Berkeley County annexed Holly Hill and Utahville to Orangeburg back in, I think, between 1907 and 1910. So,
oh yeah,
just to know that's another thing.
So let's do it like this, from youngest to oldest, man. Dom, who you got?
Okay, we're talking about ancestors, right?
That every Gullah Geechee should know. Yes,
okay, sir. I'm gonna talk about my ancestor, Abram Philo Ori. I might be mispronouncing it, but Abram Philo Ori is my 6th great grandfather. He was a Yoruba man. Philo Ori means cap of the head. He named 2 of his sons Yoruba names, Kola, which means bring wealth into my house, and a son named Landy, which I believe bestows wisdom upon my house, something along those lines, man. And this ancestor, how we was able to find out that he was Yoruba, my cousin William D. Howard did all the legwork back in the 80s and 90s because he was looking through some documents and he found his name, Philo Ori, which stood out because the master who owned him was named William Hightower. So once he did the legwork, he had some colleagues who was from all over Africa, started asking questions, started traveling, was able to just find out that this is a Yoruba name. Yeah, like it's a whole lot to it, but I don't have time to fully explain it.
Yeah. I can tell you.
Where was he enslaved?
William Hightower in the Barnwell district.
Barnwell, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Plenty of Europeans were retained in the family up until the early mid-1900s.
Still got a church down there too, I believe.
Yep, one of his sons, Prince Hightower, helped found Kemoh.
Still standing. People still going there and worship. I know your people well, Dominique.
I know. When we first met, you was telling me about my people. Like, hey, you know my people.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man. So for me, the ancestor that I think that all Gullah Geechee should know, I'm from that own pedigree, my own lineage, is no other than Charles McClellan, alias Private John Martin of the 128th USCT Colored Troops. My ancestor is, for me and my family, just to share the story with the public is crazy, man, because I heard it first from my mother's mouth. I heard it first coming from family reunions and being reinforced throughout the family, but that Charles McClellan was a name changer. Mm-hmm. Charles McClellan wasn't his real name, that he was a soldier. He fought in the war. But before he was a soldier, he was kidnapped. He was kidnapped by some Confederates, and he was held on a Confederate camp until he was freed by some Union soldiers. That ultimately he was convinced to join the Army by some of the USCTs that helped to rescue him from the Confederates. That was a story that had passed down by mouth without any knowledge of what that name before Charles McClellan was. And so for about 20 years, man, I did my best to research. And ultimately, I discovered some documents that led me to a court-martial that showed that my ancestor was a part of the 128th USCT, which was one of the 6 Low Country Gullah Geechee regiments of the Union Army, made up entirely of men from that region. And then also, it was a name-changing regiment. Almost everybody in the regiment enlisted under an alias. And then when they got out, they changed their names. Some of them, others who was from Orangeburg, they went back to Orangeburg and their families had chose a name before they got out the Army. So they just took the name that the rest of the family chose, which was different from the name of the slave owner or the name that they used when they went into the military. And so that's how we got the McClellan name. So when he got out the military, he settled down in Ridgeville, South Carolina, and then ultimately became a father of 12 children, one of them being my great-great-grandmother, Agnes, who actually was alive until 1969 and was able to raise not only my mother, but my grandmother as well. You know, in-house kind of raised, not just knew him from, got some grandkids 100 miles away. Nope, in-house with her. She was born in 1877. She died in 1969. And she was the 4th child, daughter of Charles McClellan and a woman named Maggie Rivers. Remember we just talked about Prince Rivers. Maggie Rivers. Maggie Rivers is from Cope, South Carolina. And that's also where all 3 of us have a strong connection as well. So this is the families of the people who actually was involved in what is called the Carolinas campaign when Tecumseh Sherman, the Major General of the Union Army, came through and burned down Orangeburg and burned down Columbia and burned down plantations like Woodlands and Burwood. And he burnt down high-ranking Confederate leaders' plantations. We was the Africans that was being emancipated through that process because the same ones who started the Civil War were the same ones who held our ancestors directly within the Orangeburg district, which was, I would say, the hub of it all, the hub of the region. You understand? So Charles McClellan, ultimately, he participated in an armed act of resistance and rebellion while in the Union Army. He was incarcerated for 6 months before he was ever emancipated. He spent time in Sing Sing in New York, a place he never had been at before, but he did time all the way in New York because it would have been a danger to keep him and his type in South Carolina because of the act that he did, armed resistance within the Army. They call it RETA, resistance in the Army. But Baba Kemoh, who you got?
Well, guys, I'm going to tell you about my second great grandfather, Jim Cleckley. And Jim Cleckley came straight out the bush. He was one of the original trustees of Good Hope AME Church. He was active during which started being active from 1863 to 1864. Jim Cleckley was responsible for bringing the AME denomination into the Orangeburg area. He did a lot of work with different lodges interesting fact about Jim Cleckley. He did some work with the ancestor of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, man.
William, I think his name was the W.D. Chappelle. My ancestor did some work with him.
Dave Chappelle's great grandfather.
Yeah, and because since we're all Gullah Geechees here, because of that, through the science of DNA, I am able to trace Jim Cleckley's bloodline back to Sierra Leone, West Africa, to Mayamba, the village of Fuya Wole, which is let me back up a minute. I could trace him back to Taima Kore, which is the ancestral home of the Gullah Geechee people. So I can trace the descendants of Jim Cleckley back to that chiefdom in Sierra Leone. I was at his church yesterday, and man, it was like a homecoming. For me personally, I was able to see a lot of my family, and I'm able to tell them where we come from in West Africa, and the actual ancestral homeland of the Gullah Geechee people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Powerful ancestor, powerful ancestry, and this was a good show, man. I really appreciate us going through that list. I feel invigorated by it. Got some power from it,
I'm like a dope fiend over here. I'm high up again, man. I'm gonna go do some more reading.
Yeah, man. I usually do that after every show. I be hyped and I go and start digging. I got my notes right here, man. I've been writing notes and everything. And
I was gonna go.
I love this ancestry thing, this genealogy thing, this Gullah Geechee thing, man. I dig almost every day. Almost every day.
It's a journey. It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah, it's a never-ending journey. And for me, truthfully, I can say I've been on this journey since I was about 15, 16 years old. And I'm 65 now. I'm 65 now, and the journey is still going on. I'm still learning new things about Gullah Geechee people and my ancestry and the ancestry of all of us, of Orangeburg, the local history, the family history. I learn something new every day, every single day.
Every day.
Man. It's amazing. It really is amazing, y'all. One day in the future, they're going to call our names. They're going to say, yeah, our ancestors, Dominique Holiday and Baba Kemoh and Mansa, Foday, Ajamu, they had the Gullah House show. They were teaching our people, waking them up. And that's what this is about. Make sure that our people sharp. When somebody say they're Gullah Geechee, ask them about these people. Teach them if they don't know about these people. These are only 25 of those who preceded us in this world with this heritage, with this culture, with this bloodline, with this nationality. So, yeah, man, I really appreciate this show. Y'all got any last words?
This was enjoyable. The last thing I want to say, y'all, don't forget now we have our Gullah Geechee Heritage Festival coming up in March, and we want all of y'all to come out and enjoy and be a part of this thing. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, and tell them to come and have a good time with us.
That's right. That's right. What I would like to say, man, is, each person that we had on this list, each fact that we named, hopefully this inspire people to dig deeper and learn even more about them, Go to your local libraries and also talk to your living libraries, your elders, and those who are knowledgeable in your family. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And you'd be surprised who you related to. You'd be surprised who your kinfolk is.
That's right.
Because we only carry one last name, but we got how many ancestors?
Hey, how many lineages?
Mm-hmm.
What we say, Chief. Many roots, one fambo.
One fambo. Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it's about. So again, just to back up Baba Kemoh, man, the second annual Orangeburg Gullah Geechee Heritage Festival is back. It's bigger, it's bolder, and more rooted in tradition. March 28th, 2026, live and direct at Gonona headquarters, the Cosmic Green Spot. All right, y'all don't want to miss that. Y'all don't want to miss that. Every year we're gonna get bigger and better and bigger and better and bigger and better, but we always keep it very, very family oriented, grass rooted. Don't expect no sensationalized hype up. You're gonna come meet the real people and encounter the authentic. Also, last before we get out of here, I want to say, don't be shy. Support a brother. Go out there and purchase your copy of my new book, Gullah Sovereignty, African Communalism, and the Mandan Kafu Model. Go out there and purchase that, man. It's available. It's available in book form. It's also available on e-form as well, ebook form. So it's out there. The information is being spread, and this was a good show, y'all. I appreciate y'all for your time.
Y'all enjoy your Sunday. Y'all have a good Sunday. Be blessed.
Yeah, man. All right. Y'all blessed, man.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace, y'all.
Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life billar, yo. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunnat ge förut. Det finns ju ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för det, baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid, jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda, baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig.
I guess that's it then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I still see the live. I mean,
he just logged up. All right, man. You have a good afternoon, man.
All right, y'all do too.